The chat spoke and they said that, stop smoking so much weed. We stopped smoking weed. All of a sudden, the Niners are losing. I don't fucking like it. What's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? It's Niner Notion. It's your boy, Ross Vanilla Swirl. We're happy to be back with you, my dudes and my dudettes. And we're just going to jump right into it. So let's freaking go. We just went through what a lot of people are calling the gauntlet. The best record in terms of wins and losses this late in the season. The last three teams, the Packers, the Ravens, and the Saints, no team has ever played a stretch this late in the season against that type of a record and that type of talent. And we did pretty well. We clapped the Packers. We clapped those cheeks, dog. I tried to tell everybody about how cheeks work and how clapping cheeks works. And that's what happened. It was just clamps on cheeks, dude. And then you see the Packers game, and now you get it, right? You get it. We took the Ravens to the limit. We gave them everything that they could handle, and they beat us with no time on the clock. There's no such thing as moral victories, but I'm not really that worried if we have to play the Ravens again. I'm glad we got a crack at them. And we won the game of the year against the Saints last week with that huge Kittle play. I mean, I'm sure everybody's talking about it. I don't need to talk about it. But what I do want to talk about is, of those three games, that is the second best possible scenario for us coming out of those games. The first would be that we win all three. But if we're going to go 2-1 against the three, top tier teams in all of the NFL, we want to lose the game against the team that is in the AFC, and we did, and we beat the two NFC teams. So 2-1, losing to the Ravens, we're doing real good. We almost have a perfect season, and the ways that we're not perfect are very, very, very small. So we have a lot to be thankful for and to look forward to with this final stretch of 3 games. But we need to take care of business with the Falcons. Falcons look like the laughingstock of the league early in the year. They have since gotten rid of their coach, I believe. Who fucking knows? Because who cares about the Falcons? Not me. Chaz, do you care about the Falcons? We don't give a fuck about the Falcons. It's all good. They have turned it up. I think they hung over 30 points on the Panthers. I saw that on Red Zone. I don't know how that game ended. Maybe the Panthers came back. They definitely didn't. And so they're playing a lot better. They actually beat the Saints before we played them. Then they lost to them to just prove that they weren't that good. But they beat the Saints at home. So the Falcons can get hot. They have Matt Ryan. It's all good. Last time we played the Falcons, Shanahan hung 41 points on us because he was on the Falcons and they were on their way to the Super Bowl, and that's when the Niners sucked. We only won one game that year, and it's not a big deal, but I just want to say that I'm glad we got Shanahan. We could have done better with that Solomon Thomas pick, maybe Reuben Foster. We wish we had that draft back. But, hey, we got George Kittle, so it's not that bad. This is Shanahan's first crack at his old team, the Falcons. I'm hoping that he gets the team up and they do some fucking crazy reverse, flip it under your legs, Statue of Liberty, long bombs away, and hang 41 on the Falcons. Next up is the Rams. They're playing much better than earlier in the season, but lest we forget that ass whooping that they caught against the Ravens a couple weeks ago, 45-6. Not too worried about the Rams is what I'm trying to say. If we do what we're capable of doing, we put their face in the toilet after we've had a long go at it, which brings us to week 17. Now I'm listening to a lot of radio, and on KMBR, they're talking about how the playoff structure sucks. It sucks that a team that just because they won the division, they get a home game. So the Cowboys might get a home game with a losing record. And how a team that goes 13-3 has to play on the road throughout the playoffs if they don't win their division. Stop all that fucking noise. And here's the thing, we're lions now. We don't have to think like lambs anymore. That is really scary to think about, but they're not going to change that rule, because right now week 17 is going to be the biggest game of the year, possibly, to figure out who's going to have home field advantage and who has to go on the road throughout the playoffs. So they're never going to change that. If they change that, there's an outside chance that we'd both be sitting our starters. No one would watch that game. So it creates too much drama. They're keeping it in. But if we're Lions and we look at that as an opportunity, we can cripple the Seahawks, a team that may be going 12-4 if we beat them. They would have to go on the road all the way through the playoffs. Yeah, it could happen to us too, but I'm not thinking like that, because I'm not about that lamb life, dog. It's not lamb chops up in here, cousin. This is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on. I'm not going to do a whole thing, but you know what I'm referencing. We go in there, we take care of business, we fucking shiv the Seahawks, and we let them walk off bleeding. You know what I mean? Holding their gut like, fuck, dude, I got to walk all the way home. That's how it's going to be when the Niners come to town. So that's how I'm looking at that game. Hopefully you guys can look at it that way too. Tell me about it in the comments if you're fucking a pussy and scared. Yeah, man, you got to risk it for the biscuit. That's what I've been saying for a long time now. So I just want to get that in there. What, you don't like that? All right. I don't know what it means. The Saints game was amazing, but it definitely took a toll on us. And I'm sure people are talking about, everyone on the radio is talking about it. You're probably well aware, but D Ford re-injured his hamstring. He's out for the rest of the regular season. It's going to be all good, because hopefully he gets the bye and he gets an extra week to rest it up. Wounds over my hammies. I hope that he gets that healed up. We know Tart and DJ Jones are hurting too. They got boo-boos, and hopefully they come back soon. But the main injuries after the Saints game to be aware of are Sherman is out for 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. And I'm a little worried about that. I'm a little suspect, because D Ford was out 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. He comes back in the Saints game, blows his hamstring, and needs to be out 3 more weeks. I'm a little worried about Sherman. I mean, he's not going to miss the Seahawks game, but I'm worried about it. And then the other big loss is Weston Richburg. Weston, so hard to say his name, Weston Richburg, we got from the Giants last year in free agency, and he had an injury pretty much all year. This year he was looking a lot better. He was healthy, ruptured patella tendon. He's out for the season. Hopefully he's back next year, God willing. And so we're going to have to talk about how we replace him as well. So first I want to talk about Sherman. Obviously, we have Akello Witherspoon, who's back early in the season. He was playing at kind of an elite level. It's his 3rd year. So first season he came in, he showed promise. He had that interception against the Jaguars to close the game out that first year when we went on the run with Jimmy. And earlier this year, he was playing at an elite level. Last year wasn't so good. He kind of dropped off and had some confidence issues. So the one thing that I'm a little worried about with Akello Witherspoon is his contact courage, which I heard Dante Whitner talk about. Great term. I'm going to use it. That's mine now. What's up, Dante? Come find me, dog. For sure don't. Oh, shit. Oh God, I'm going to get beat up. Bring Tim Ryan, though, because I would like to meet him if I'm going to go see God. Akello Witherspoon doesn't have great contact courage, and you can see that in the Saints game for sure. He just, he tries to kind of throw his shoulder at people, but he doesn't really want to get in there, making business decisions, as the kids say. Emmanuel Mosley is going to be holding down the other cornerback spot. Everybody loves Emmanuel Mosley because he's this kind of undrafted free agent that's got all this technique and all this athleticism, but he just hadn't put it together yet. And so it sounds like he's kind of like the Richie James Jr. of the defense. But he's been in the starting lineup. We've seen what Emmanuel Mosley can do all season, and he's been really, really sound. Sometimes there's a little inconsistency, but Akello had that early in the season too. You kind of live with that. But the thing that he has better than Akello Witherspoon is he definitely is good in run support. I love watching him come up on the corner and just put his shoulder into a running back's hip and thigh, and that guy just goes straight down. So, I actually think I have more confidence in Emmanuel Mosley than I do Akello at this point, but I think the ceiling is higher for Akello Witherspoon. We get to see what they can do for 2 weeks at least, and that should be fun. Now we're going to talk about how to replace Weston Richburg. Now, his whole thing is that he's athletic. He's also got a little bit of a mean streak. He's kind of an asshole, but you want that in an offensive lineman. But he's super athletic for a center, in terms of how centers go. It's not good. Timmy! I see you, brother. So Weston Richburg is... he's able to get out and run in front of like reverses, and he takes dudes out. That kind of cut block that linemen are known for out on the outside. We're in luck because when Ben Garland filled in for Weston Richburg, he has a lot of the same skill set. Ben Garland is a rookie, undrafted rookie from the Falcons. We grabbed him off their practice squad, and no, we didn't, and nobody knows that. I didn't know that. He's actually been in the league for 6 years. I thought he was a fucking rookie. Ben Garland, that's his name. He's like a journeyman. He's been on a bunch of different teams, so it's crazy that he's flying under the radar. He kind of reminds me of Mike Person in that regard. He was a starting guard on the Falcons when Shanahan was there, and nobody really talks about Mike Person. He's had the starting job for at least 2 years now, and that's the kind of player I think Weston God damn it, Benjamin Garland is going to be, hopefully. We'll watch this play real quick. Watch him turn around, come around on the outside. Now he's looking for a guy, and he takes a dude out. That's what we were seeing from Weston Richburg. Now I said the right name. Against like the Cardinals and teams like that. The best part about this is while I was on my way over here, I was listening to George Kittle on KMBR, and he was saying that play, Ben Garland, that wasn't even his assignment. His assignment, the guy he was blocking was all taken care of. And so he just kind of peels back and is like, well, I know where the play's going. I'm going to go find somebody to fucking take out. He takes out Marshawn Lattimore, and that looks like a painful way to go down. It's delightful. I'm really hopeful for Ben Garland, and just think about this. If he shines the way Justin School and Daniel Brunskill shined early in the season and their opportunities to take over for injured players, that's a huge advantage in the years to come. We have 3 starting caliber O-linemen with game experience on our bench. That's all you really need is 3 linemen, maybe a 4th, maybe you get a rookie, and you try to train them up. But that means for years to come, we're going to be looking real good with our O-line depth. Huge advantage. I think we're done for today. Hopefully, if you guys liked it, you'll like and you'll subscribe and you'll I don't give a shit. Who cares? All right, cool. We're done.